The LinkedIn Podcast Network is sponsored by SAP. Harness the power of AI across your business and achieve results that are relevant, reliable, and responsible with SAP Business AI. Revolutionary technology, real-world results. That's SAP Business AI.
Have you been feeling the effects of stress, burnout, or anxiety at work? Listen to the Anxious Achiever podcast to rethink the relationship between your career and your mental health. Get The Anxious Achiever wherever you find your podcasts and walk away with practical advice you can implement today.
LinkedIn presents.
Of course, we shouldn't reject all technology. We don't even need to be complete minimalists about tech. What we need is a renaissance of agnosticism. It's not just okay, but honorable to say, I don't know, when that is in fact the case. Patient, thoughtful agnosticism may be slower, but it can help form better answers to life's hardest questions.
What's up, people? My name is Michael Kovnat, and this is the Next Big Idea Daily, the show that makes smart people smarter by offering quick summaries of the most interesting new books written and read to you by the authors themselves. Now, the weekend is upon us, which means that some of you will be going to places of worship. Others will stay home and scroll social media, or maybe gather to stream some football. In any case, you're likely to be engaging in a religious ritual of some sort, at least according to Greg Epstein, author of the new book, Tech Agnostic: How Technology Became the World's Most Powerful Religion and Why It Desperately Needs a Reformation. Greg serves as the humanist chaplain at Harvard University and at MIT and is the author of the New York Times bestseller Good Without God. In his new book, Greg examines the ways in which technology has become as central to our culture as religion once was, and he encourages us to look critically at the cult of high tech. Here's Greg to share some of his big ideas.
Tech has come to play a role in our lives that is far beyond any industry. It's come to look more like a religion. In fact, if you compare the mythological kingdom of Silicon Valley to the size and scope of other world religions today, it would now have to be the biggest. Think about it. We tend to say that tech is an industry. But that description makes no sense because there's no longer any major industry on Earth that isn't a tech industry. Because if a new religion of the traditional kind had emerged and acquired billions of devotees and dollars within our lifetimes, the way that our current fervor for AI, social media, surveillance capitalism, and all things digital have, if everyone you knew suddenly started praying or worshiping at a traditional altar as often or as fervently as we genuflect before our stained glass black mirrors, at least 150 times a day on average, we would and should ask ourselves all the time whether that new creed had taken on undue influence over our lives and communities. While big tech has become a basic feature of our everyday lives, it has come to be dominated by some extremely weird ideas. Many of those ideas are weirdly theological, like Way of the Future, a religion founded by Anthony Levandowski, a former Google and Uber AI engineer who made hundreds of millions before being convicted for IP theft against Google, avoiding jail when Donald Trump pardoned him. Levandowski, upon filing paperwork to officially found a new church, told the IRS his new faith focused on, quote, the realization, acceptance, and worship of a Godhead based on artificial intelligence developed through computer hardware and software, unquote. He believes humans are creating something that for all practical purposes will soon be a god. A god that, like the jealous one in the Bible, will be angry to find we didn't start worshiping it sooner. And I wish my book research hadn't turned up literally countless similar examples, like the singularity, the supposedly fast approaching moment when tech allows us to overcome death, making human life meaningful, says Ray Kurzweil, the AI legend who helped pioneer Google's Gemini, which implies, contradicting thousands of years of secular and religious philosophy, that life hasn't been meaningful up until now. If we were thinking about a new traditional religion dominated by strange ideas, we would know to question, what is the agenda behind such ideas? In tech, we desperately need more critical thinking about why we're being sold such grand ideas and lofty ideals. Because many of the most important weird tech ideas are not just fanciful notions. They directly influence the movement of billions of dollars. So let's talk about heaven. It's a genuinely beautiful and meaningful concept for many, and I'm absolutely fine with that, even though I am among those who, like John Lennon, prefer to imagine there's no such thing. The problem is that in the hands of infallible extremists or absolute monarchs, the concept can be used to justify almost anything. Sure, society isn't fair or equitable or safe, and your family is suffering and the future looks bleak, but stop complaining and obey my commands, say such rulers. Because if you do, you'll go to paradise. If not, go to the other place. This classic theological trope appears in a 2003 essay, Astronomical Waste: The Opportunity Cost of Delayed Technological Development, by Nick Bostrom, a former longtime Oxford professor who was among the world's most decorated figures in AI until he was forced to close his Future of Humanity Institute in April 2024. In the piece, Bostrom argued that for every year that sufficiently advanced technology is not developed and colonization of the universe is delayed, there is a, quote, corresponding opportunity cost, unquote, of the trillions of hypothetical future digital lives that tech could bring to the universe. In other words, if you don't pump billions into the coffers of AI leaders now, you're denying the birth of billions of AI people in a celestial tech future. And by doing so, you might even be committing genocide? And the influential tech billionaire investor and founder Marc Andreessen makes the exact same case in his famous 2023 Techno-Optimist Manifesto. Quote, "We believe any deceleration of AI will cost lives," unquote, writes Andreessen there, continuing, "Deaths that were preventable by the AI that was prevented from existing is a form of murder." Yikes. Facing a claim like that, you see, it's harder to raise more earthly concerns like AI's huge carbon footprint amid global climate crisis or AI disinformation harming democracy, etc. And that's precisely the point and the agenda behind big beliefs like tech heaven. Of course, we shouldn't reject all technology. We don't even need to be complete minimalists about tech. What we need is a renaissance of agnosticism. One of the biggest blessings skeptical humanism can offer a world of tech certainty, in which AI chatbots freely and frequently hallucinate garbage answers and advice like use glue to keep cheese from sliding off pizza, as Google's Gemini has helpfully suggested, is that it's not just okay, but honorable to say, I don't know, when that is in fact the case. Patient, thoughtful agnosticism may be slower, but it can help form better answers to life's hardest questions, like, is the theology I believe in really true? Or how to govern a diverse society? Or should I glue mozzarella and sauce to my pizza crust? Okay, some questions do have easy answers. But seriously, our society needs to be more proud of what my friend Leslie Hazelton, author of a book called Agnostic: A Spirited Manifesto, calls a spirited delight in not knowing. There is a deep beauty that is worth fighting for, to acknowledging, even celebrating our limitations, our imperfections, our mortality, our flawed yet resilient capacity to love. We need to return our technologies to the status of tools in service to our deep and common humanity.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, everyone, if you got something out of today's show, please leave us a rating or review to help others find it. And remember, if you want to get a jump on your holiday gifts, how about giving a membership to the Next Big Idea Club? We'll send out the best nonfiction books of the year as chosen by our curators, Malcolm Gladwell, Adam Grant, Susan Cain, and Daniel Pink. We also offer beautiful audio and video masterclasses, live events, and other goodies. Check it all out at nextbigideaclub.com. This week's episodes were written by me, Michael Kovnat, and edited by Caleb Bissinger. The Next Big Idea Daily is part of the LinkedIn Podcast Network. We'll see you Monday.